Hey everyone. So in this particular video, I wanted to make sure because yeah, it really grinds my gear. It really irks me when I constantly hear these thought leaders, these opinion makers in the established media constantly referring to anyone who challenges the narrative. They refer to them as what? Conspiracy theorists, far right individuals, anti-vaxxers, misinformation or disinformation peddlers. I mean, you've heard all the negative connotations and derogatory statements that these hacks in the established media use towards anyone, like I say, who's doing nothing more, for the most part, than just challenging the narrative or attempting to debunk some of those narratives that, once again, all you have to do is just take a few minutes out of your day, look to the actual facts and statistics, and you'll come up with your own understanding. Well, at least if you know how to think critically, you understand math, right? It's not that difficult, folks. And the way COVID-19 deaths are being reported now, especially for younger people, oh yeah, the media's out there. And you, like I say, this is done for nefarious reasons. It's not just sheer incompetence at this point in time. I wish I could just say it's just sheer incompetence, but no, there's definitely got to be a lot more to it than just that. Anyways, let me just give you a couple examples. Case in point here. So this is a CBC News article out of New Brunswick, of all places. Headline, NB COVID-19 roundup. Man in his 30s has died. 14 new cases reported. St. Basile man is NB's youngest victim of COVID-19. Vaccine appointments now open to those 70 and older. So, I mean, there you go. Man in his 30s has died, right? That's what you're getting from the main headline. And the sub-portion of the headline is this: St. Basile man is the youngest victim of COVID-19. So, anyone that just reads the headline would take away that, well, this young, 30-something-year-old man has died of COVID-19. Ooh, that's scary, right? But once again, nope, you got to be someone like myself these days, which I have to place myself in a small minority of Canadians these days, but you got to actually get through the tabloid-style, sensationalized, fear-mongering narrative and headlines that, the attention grabbers, right, or what they want you to take away or perceive things. But once you've delved down to it just a little bit, and it didn't take that long. What are we just what? Maybe a couple paragraphs down into it. And as you can see, well, let me just read a little bit here. So it starts out, an Edmonton region man has died of COVID-related causes at age 38, bringing the province's death toll to 31, and underscoring a worrying trend of younger adults being seriously affected by the disease. In a new release Wednesday, Public Health confirmed that a person between the age of 30 and 39 has died as a result of COVID-19 in the Edmonton region, Zone 4. Now, here's the next part that really matters the most. The new release had been updated from earlier, saying the individual died as a result of underlying complications, including COVID-19. Family members confirmed to Radio Canada that the person was Luc Belanger of St. Basile, and they died Tuesday after contacting COVID-19. Now, once again, of course, I feel bad for anyone that has to bury a loved one, young or old. And young, obviously, it could be even more devastating, right? Gone too soon, and we all know that it's a sad thing for any family to have to deal with. But come on, once again, this person did not die from COVID-19. They may have contacted COVID-19 as being suggested here, but it includes underlying conditions. And are they explaining or extrapolating or expanding on our knowledge to understand what those underlying conditions are? No. Right? No, they don't want to give you that much information, because then you'd be able to think more critically about this issue. This is what the hacks of the media do. They're not going to necessarily straight out blatantly lie, although, I mean, this lying by omission or misinformation or misrepresenting of the facts, I mean, however way you want to look at it, but I mean, think about it. And these are the ones that are constantly saying everyone else is all agents of misinformation or disinformation or peddlers of propaganda or conspiracy theorists. Like I say, these people are projecting. They must feel quite guilty when they or if they ever look themselves in the mirror, because they have to see that the insults and accusations that they constantly espouse is really and should properly be directed straight in the mirror and back at them. Anyways, this is just one example, folks. And in one day, not only do I have this example to offer, but another one as well. Yeah, not one, but two for. You get a 2-for-1 in one day. So think about how much, if just 2 times it happened in one day, think about how many other times it's happened in the past. Now here's the next one. This one's out of Montreal, another CBC article. Teenager dies of COVID-19 in Montreal, youngest victim of pandemic in Quebec. Montreal Public Health Director reassures parents, notes success at containing outbreaks. This was reported on April 7th, 2021. Oh, right. And the date for the other one, the first one, let me go back here, was once again, April 7th, 2021. So like I say, same day, same media organization, and same misrepresentation of the facts or the truth. A 16-year-old Quebecer died of complications from COVID-19 at a Montreal pediatric hospital last week. The teenager is the youngest person in the province to have died of the disease. Montreal public health officials said Wednesday the death shouldn't cause undue concern about the safety of schools and illustrate how the city has been successful at slowing the spread of more contagious versions of COVID-19. I would say to parents that schools are secure and there's more benefit from the development of our children to send them to school, said Dr. Mylene Drouin, who heads Montreal's public health authority. Deaths and hospitalizations from COVID-19 are extremely rare in teenagers and children. Only one other person under 20 years old has died of the disease in Quebec. The variants are more pathogenic and affect younger people. We've seen deaths before in younger people, but 16 is really very young, Drouin said. Now here's the part, once again, where you're going to get some actual truth. But once again, you have to dig into the article, which, as we know, very few people do these days. And the media knows this, which is why they should emphasize the most important aspect of this story or the other story right in the headline, or at least in the sub portion of the headline. But do they? No. The Provincial Public Health Research Institute, the NSPQ, reports the death occurred Saturday. The Saint Justin Pediatric Hospital in Montreal released no other details about the patient, including whether they had contracted a variant. Now look, this is a direct quote here, folks. Quote, people who die at a young age of COVID-19 are generally people who have significant comorbidities, a hospital spokesperson said in a statement confirming the death, which was first reported by the French language television network TVA. So once again, there it is, not a full-on blatant admission, right? Not even fully coming out and say it, but at least alluding to the fact that people who die at a young age of COVID-19 are generally people who have significant comorbidities. And once again, we all, well, those of us who think critically and don't just fall for the narrative espoused by the hacks in the established media, we understand this. But a substantial portion of our fellow citizens and the people in this country do not. And it's a direct cause of the misrepresentation of facts and these sensationalized headlines that try to paint a completely different story and pump up that fear in order to keep Canadians on not just heightened alert, but willing to conform to their authority, right? And at the end of the day, you know darn well that that is exactly and precisely why they do this and what this is all about. And we know also what's still in the pipeline yet to come. So, yeah, stay tuned. It's Canadian Libertarian, and I love liberty.